Hey everyone, and good Monday evening to you. It is Weather for Weather Geeks time. Big changes are occurring as of the recording of this video, a little after 7 p.m. Our cold front rolling through our viewing area, and this is a doozy of a front. Before the front's arrival, though, it was a pretty decent afternoon today. The sun was out for a few hours at least, and we made it up to 52. Now, 52 is still below the average for the 7th day of April, but still with that strong early April sunshine, roughly equivalent to early September at this time of the year. Really was pretty nice outside, and easily the best afternoon of the next several, because we've got a lot of active weather to talk about, including some wintry weather, of course, over the next several days. Through the first week of the month, we've had 4 warmer than average afternoons and 3 cooler than average afternoons, and tomorrow will certainly be a blue box kind of a day. Temperatures at the airport have dropped from 52 to 37 just in 3 hours. So the front rolled through the location of the Youngstown Warren Airport in Trumbull County a little after the top of the hour at 6 p.m., and we're starting to see a transition to some snowflakes from north to south. Look at the temperature gradient as of 7:09. Still 52 down towards East Liverpool, but 34 up in the northwestern corner of Trumbull County, where snow is falling at this hour. Big changes along this front. So it's still raining in a lot of our southern viewing area, but around and north of Interstate 80, we've pretty much transitioned over to some wet snowflakes. Now, this isn't going to really add up to much, but there could be a little slushy coating on a few colder surfaces, I suppose, this evening. But with the sunset not for at least another, 45 minutes or so, and we were in the 50s earlier on today, the snow is going to have a hard time sticking. But yeah, big changes coming to a lot of the eastern U.S. Now, where the growing season has been determined to have begun, National Weather Service offices have issued freeze warnings and freeze watches. This includes parts of southern Ohio, where the growing season is officially underway. Climatologically speaking, we've reached our last freeze of the season when we look at long-term averages in places like Cincinnati, even as far north as Dayton and Columbus. Of course, we're a ways away from our climatological last freeze date in the northeastern part of Ohio. In western Pennsylvania, that usually is the first week of May. But yeah, freeze watch is extending down into the deep south, an unusually cold air mass slipping off to the south. And even though, it's not very welcome, talk of snow at this time of the year is not unusual. And this is the week in which, according to the long-term averages anyway, we should see our last measurable snowfall of the year. The 30-year average is April 10th. But the last 2 years, we've had our last measurable snowfall in the month of March. Very early last year, March 20th. It was the 29th of March back in 2023. Remember back-to-back years in 20 and 21 in which we had measurable snow in early May, including over an inch on May the 9th. I believe that was Mother's Day in 2001. We hope to not see a repeat of that anytime real soon. All right, as we go through the evening, our steadiest precipitation will occur up through about 8, maybe 9 o'clock or so. From north to south, we'll cool off enough to see some snowflakes. Then there's probably a break before snow flurries try to become a little bit better organized later on tonight. And yes, you can have lake effect snow at this time of the year. It's more lake enhancement than true lake effect. But there will be a boost off of the Great Lakes, producing a scattering of flurries and just a February-like feel and look to things later on tonight and during the day on Tuesday. And how, unfortunately, the Guardians have their home opener on Tuesday. Now, the good news is, by this point, the snow flurry activity should be pretty much out of Cleveland and the rest of northeast Ohio. The bad news is, it's more like football weather rather than baseball weather for the first pitch, around 33 degrees, and the wind chill mostly in the upper 20s, and we expect similar things, of course, around the Youngstown area and our TV viewing area. Best chance for flurries will be through midday. Our trough disappears, and high pressure pays a brief visit later Tuesday night into Wednesday morning. We'll start cold and frosty Wednesday morning. Clouds will increase in the afternoon. Here comes the next system and another chance for snowflakes. I think this can be wet snow for a little while Wednesday evening before it transitions to kind of a wintry mix, and probably just a plain old cold rain later Wednesday night into the day on Thursday. Now, this low pressure system is going to get stuck, it looks like, as it tries to push east. And what that means for us is a pretty unsettled forecast at times Thursday night, maybe parts of Friday and Saturday. Now, I'm more confident that precipitation will linger out to the east, and maybe even some wet snow for the mountainous terrain of Pennsylvania up into the hills of New York State as well. Around here, we might be just on the edge of things, but we're going to keep at least a low-end chance for some lingering showers into Friday and perhaps even Saturday as well, and that'll keep a lid on our temperatures. Speaking of temperatures, let's take a look at the latest, I should say, long-range modeling, and specifically what we call the European Extended. We used to call these the European Weeklies. These are run every day now. It used to be every Monday and Thursday we get a fresh set of data from the European long-range model, but we get this every day now. And what we're looking at here are temperature anomalies. We'll roll forward through time here, and what we want to take away from this, and this has, the support of some other modeling as well. I do think there will be a warm-up in about a week, early on next week, around the 14th, 15th, thereabouts. We'll probably see some 60s, but it may be kind of short-lived in terms of that kind of warmth. Now, I don't think we slip back into a pattern that's going to produce a lot of 30s for daytime highs, but as you can see here, as we roll this forward and get deeper into April, the warmth just wants to be centered in the middle of the country and out west. We're having a hard time establishing a persistent warm air mass in the eastern, at least third of the country, I think through the end of April. So I mentioned this last week on Weather for Weather Geeks. I think we're going to have a hard time squeezing out a warmer than average month in April to the same magnitude as we had in March. March ended up about 5 degrees above average. April could finish warmer than average, but I don't think it'll be by much. It may be kind of a close call. In fact, it wouldn't shock me if we finished a little below the average in terms of our temperatures for April as a whole. The coldest day is likely to be tomorrow, but plenty of cooler than average days will be a possibility going forward. Now, I do think that this week's snowflakes will be the last of the season, because of course as we get deeper into April, climatologically speaking, it becomes less and less likely to see snowflakes. And while I don't see a warm pattern taking shape, I do think that at least according to the latest modeling, it'll be hard to get an air mass cold enough to produce snowflakes once we get done with this week's unsettled pattern. That'll do it for me on Weather for Weather Geeks on this Monday evening. Thanks for watching, everyone. Have a great rest of your night, and I'll see you right back here on Tuesday.